Hello, and welcome everyone. This is the Shine Beyond Cancer Show. This show is designed for anyone who's been diagnosed, currently going through treatment, or is now cancer-free. We know you did not choose to be on this team. We didn't either, but we kicked cancer's ass, and we are here to provide you inspiration, hope, and the tools you desire to manage the confusion and anxiety. We deliver you a remarkably detailed game plan for you to achieve clarity, strength, and purpose, no matter where you are on this journey. We are here to quarterback you through all aspects of your life so that you too shine beyond cancer to live a vibrant, abundant life. However, we are not here to treat, diagnose, or cure any illness or disease. We are making no medical or income claims. Let's get started with the show. Here are your co-hosts. From Wall Street to 9/11 first responder volunteer to wellness warrior and cancer thriver, Mark Slew. And from mom to marketer to master trainer and cancer thriver, Lisa Diamond.
Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Shine Beyond Cancer. I'm Lisa Diamond, and today's show is Cancer Affects the Whole Family.
Hi, I'm Mark Slew, and today my partner Lisa is going to interview my caretaker, my wife, my rock, my everything, Danielle Russo Slew.
Hi, everybody.
Hi Danielle, I'm so happy that you are here and that I get to interview you. And I know Mark's story, and we've talked numerous times, obviously, but I don't think, honestly, I have ever really heard like the back stuff from you. And so, what was Mark like before you got sick? Because everybody's probably watched a few episodes by now, or they've gone back and watched some. And what you see today, how did that compare to prior to the diagnosis?
Okay, well, thanks for having me on the Shine Beyond Cancer show. It's been great to watch you guys create this for an amazing audience. So before Mark was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, he had given me a run for my money years prior. He had a heart attack at 43, and that was coming off of the stress of Wall Street and kind of what was happening at the time in the markets. And as we had mentioned, we were going through some crazy challenges financially with our marketplace being replaced by computers, right? And many people out there will have that challenge during their potential lifetime and career, and now, certainly with the internet coming. So we had lived through heart attack first, and we bounced back, and he was resilient in coming back, and then, becoming healthy after heart attack.
Right.
So when we got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, again, if you haven't watched all the episodes, you may want to just go back, because we were volunteers and first responders during 9/11 down in the middle of the pit, exposed to all of the toxicity, which I know in future episodes we're going to talk about again.
We are.
We kind of were like, oh boy, this is another one of those peaks in the roller coaster, and it's time to have life throw you the curveball again. But what's interesting, I think, that I can point out, and I think your viewers, when you really reflect on where you were in your life, and deep emotional stuff, he was not working any longer on the trading floor, where he had a 25-year career, which he was passionate about and vibrant and at the top of his game. And he was doing something that he wasn't really crazy about, and he kept saying, "This is a negative environment. I don't love it here." And it's funny because, of course, like Monday Morning Quarterback, when you can kind of look back and reflect, you say, "Gee, when you're not in an optimal situation, it causes that angst in the body, which then manifests and can manifest into these types of things."
Right.
So. Yeah, he was not, however, I know you and him have chatted about this in prior episodes, that personal growth and development is so important, and he had just graduated from a course that really helps you have introspection and take a look at your life, what's important in your family, in your relationships, in your contribution, in your finance, in your, you know, kind of all the wheel of life. And so I was so grateful that he didn't love what he was doing professionally at the time, but yet kind of up here was really kind of rewired. So his head was in a good place to beat the cancer. And I know we don't love that word because that's kind of an aggressive word, but to overcome cancer in his body. But yeah, I mean, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe we've been through all this stuff, and it sounds crazy, right? 43 heart attack, 48 stage 4 cancer, and to see him now on these episodes at 55 in literally the best shape of his life, it's, you know, it's our blessing and our miracle with a lot of hard work behind it.
It definitely takes that. So when, you know, you got the diagnosis, I mean, he knew he was sick for a while, you didn't know what it was. When you finally got that diagnosis, how did you feel? Like, what, as the spouse, as the, you know, this is my husband, how did you feel? Were you scared? Were you angry? Were you, you know, I mean, what was going through your head for you?
I think all of those emotions that run the gamut from, I can't believe it is happening again, to I am terrified and scared that by then Mark and I had the 2 little ones. Mark came to me with 3 beautiful girls, but we had 2 more, a boy and a girl. And, you know, oh my gosh, like I would have the responsibility of 5 kids, you know, by myself without him. And I think you go through all the gamut of all of those emotions. But you know me now so well.
Yes.
I'm very optimistic and very positive, and the glass is not even half full. It's like overflowing. I've been, you know, rose-colored glasses, my optimistic personality. So I just figured we were gonna fight to the end to be okay, and not just okay, but to shine. And be vibrant.
So, and I know this is going to be a really difficult question for you. What was the worst moment? Because everybody, I mean, I personally can pinpoint like the worst thing for me in the whole entire thing when I look back. But for you, not for Mark, but for you, what was the worst moment for you?
I think the worst moment was just at diagnosis. We had not known what was going on in his body for months and months, and he had told the story in previous episodes, lost so much weight, his skin was gray, his body was down to 160 something, you know, he was not himself. And I think not knowing and then being in the hospital for 3 days running a million tests, that right at that pinnacle moment when then we knew he had stage 4, lighting up like a Christmas tree in the PET scan, like that was probably the worst moment. Then the second later, like the best moment, okay, now we know what it is, and now we can do something about it.
Right. And I found that too, like just, you know, the not knowing, and, you know, like my girls didn't know until we had a game plan as far as what it was, what the treatment was, and, you know, I didn't want them going through that roller coaster where you don't know, you wait, you have a test, you have another test.
It's frustrating. It's so frustrating.
And then it's like, what do you talk about in between the tests? Like, right? It's not like you can plan your next vacation because you're not sure if there is one. So it's like, yeah. So I'm sure you have multiple of the next question, because that's who you are. So, you know, there's always a silver lining. There are always positive things that come out of a cancer journey, no matter who you are. I mean, there just are. You know, life awakening moments. You turn yourself around and you become the healthiest you've ever been in your whole life. So, what were a couple of like the positive silver linings of all of this? Besides, you got to move down here and
I think that just you guys did an episode about mindfulness, and And if you haven't watched that one, my gosh, you definitely have to go back a few episodes. I can't remember.
It was
off the top of
episode
my-
4.
4, okay. I knew she'd remember. Really getting much more in tune with like the present moment and enjoying the journey and being present and not trying to, be too far ahead in the future, and also to stop living in the past and worrying about what you could have done, what you should have done. I mean, both sets of our parents were like, you guys get out of there, don't, you get out of the city, and we were like, oh no, we're not leaving, we want to be right here. So I think not having the regrets and also not being so anxious and trying to remain present, which is a practice, and I'm practicing it every day. Every day. I started a new business the month that he was diagnosed, which has become wildly abundant and successful and helped not only our family, but the ripple effect has literally been thousands upon thousands, beyond my wildest dreams, expectations, honestly. So to be able to pay it forward and really create that for other people has just been a magnificent part of the journey.
Right.
And I think that just more commitment to just growing and learning and being in contribution, because it's really short. It's really, really short.
Yeah.
And that just makes us all feel so good, and it's just, we enjoy all doing it together. But I think that that's such a positive that's come out of when you recalibrate your life. And I know you have people watching that may be in the throes of really the stuff, so you can't do as much as you'd like yet. And then maybe people are kind of on the other side, like you and Mark, who just like say, wow, that crap didn't hold me down, nothing will, and I just want to like help other people and do what I can and not worry about the small stuff.
Yeah. So one of Mark and I's hopes is that people that are watching these episodes, aren't just necessarily the people that are going through the diagnosis and the treatment, but we're sharing from all angles of our life, and so if you have someone in your life that is taking care of you, the relationship part of it is so important, because it's hard as the person going through it to be with the person not going through it, but that's your support system, but they don't understand what you're going through. And so, would you say obviously communication is like super key to getting through together?
I would say communication and patience, which I work on every day. I'm not the most patient person. I've got a high-speed personality, so I want to go, move, shake, and we needed to really slow it down and just be. And it was great that I had, the kids were such a great, amazing distraction at the time. I'm sure Mark will probably want to do a whole entire episode about laughing and using humor and levity, and there was a TV series that he absolutely loved, and it would just make him hysterical no matter when he clicked it on. But patience and communication and just day by day stuff.
And it's okay for you as the caregiver. You mentioned, you just started your business, and it's okay for you as the caregiver that you didn't get the diagnosis, but your life doesn't have to stop either. And did you feel like you had that balance, or were there days where should I be feeling this with him, or should I be really excited I'm doing really well in my business? Did you struggle with any of that?
Lisa, I definitely was coming from a place of just I had to make it all work. I felt the many days I you're juggling all the balls in the air, 2 minutes you're a mom and wiping somebody's butt, and 2 minutes you're trying to do this and on the phone and for being a professional, and then you're folding the laundry, and then it's not so glamorous, and you just kind of wear all the hats at the same time, and you just somehow or other we got it all done. And yeah, the emotions of how much I need. I mean, thank God. I also thank my parents and Mark's parents. So we are lucky enough to have all 4 grandparents alive, and I thank them for their help during that time, and I know many people out there may not have such a wonderful extended support
Right,
situation, which is probably a whole nother episode.
Right.
But we were lucky enough to have that in addition to great friends and, community support around us. So I think that also makes it just all the more reason why, you want to give back. But to answer your question, just the emotions that run the full range, it's okay. Like, if you're out there and you were a caregiver and you had the 5 minutes, it's like you feel like you might be a hot mess, like you're here caring for them, and 2 minutes later you're feeling resentful. Yeah, I mean, that's like the emotional guidance system we all have in our bellies
Right.
and in our heads, and it's okay. And you get through it.
Yeah.
Because when you do, and you are out the other side, then you're shining.
It looks good. So you've obviously seen some of our episodes. We always like to leave our audience with something that they can take away and use in their life. So coming from that spouse, caretaker, juggler, what can you leave our audience with?
So the two nuggets that I'll leave the audience with, first is definitely be your own advocate for your own health. And this can be very confusing, and the internet is very overwhelming, but be an advocate for your own health and your own body. We found 1,000 things extra that we could do for Mark, for his body, that our doctor was not going to do. That was not his job. That was our job.
Right.
So that's my first nugget, and I know that during these episodes,
That's going to be another show.
Mark will share many of the kind of tips and tricks to getting to the other side and shining will be shared with this audience. And the second is grow together. I mean, that is just paramount. I think if you don't grow together, you wind up, growing apart, and it's like you're either growing together or you're growing apart. And for us, the journey of growing together is delicious, and we are a second marriage, and we really like each other, and we didn't want it to be any other way but be on the same page. And it's a constant recommitment, and it's a constant growth, and it's a constant communication. But those are definitely the two things. I mean, just because someone is diagnosed and going through something doesn't mean that their personal growth has to stop.
Right.
You can constantly get better up here and in
Right.
here, even if the doctors have you and are putting stuff over here.
Right.
So that's not necessarily an excuse.
Right. Awesome. So on the next episode of Shine Beyond Cancer, my youngest daughter Olivia is going to be on, and Mark will be interviewing her. And so Danielle, you want to help me close out the show?
Let's do it.
All right. Until next time, keep shining.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Shine Beyond Cancer Show, the #1 cancer survival guide show for people wanting to kick cancer's ass and take their life to the next level. Be sure to visit our Facebook group, Shine Beyond Cancer, or head over to shinebeyondcancer.com to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. Until next time, keep shining.